Hello everyone, and now welcome to a 2v2 matchup taking place here on Hillsbrad Creek. It is going to be CaSpeND and Razer.Moon going up against ReaVeR and d4rK. Razer.Moon spawning as the orange Night Elf here. His partner CaSpeND spawning as an orange human player, using ally colors to figure out everything here. They're going to be going up against a human orc team. ReaVeR spawning as the purple human, and finally d4rK spawning as the purple orc. Orc and human versus human and Night Elf in this 1v1 matchup, or excuse me, 2v2. I need to block out sound. A lot of things going on behind me in this 2v2 matchup. All right, things getting underway. So far, well, you guys can read the communications. Let's, what is it? Orc Mass Headhunters Tier 3, Farseer, Tauren Chieftain, HSH. All right. Meanwhile, all right, they're also trying to share. All right. Try not to get too distracted by all of the comments that they're reading up. All right, so Farseer opening up from ReaVeR. Meanwhile, we are looking at an Archmage coming, or sorry, ReaVeR here and d4rK here. Meanwhile, it is going to be an Archmage and, well, could be a Tavern Hero coming in from Razer, as this Altar of Elders is quite a bit delayed. Tavern in the middle here. Is it going to be a Beastmaster? That is the question. Perhaps a Dark Ranger as well. Difficult to say overall, as an Ancient of War currently getting ready to tank some of the damage here at the Ogre Mauler Creep Camp. All right, staying close by this Wisp and this Tavern Hero. Things getting ready and underway. Archmage is going to be popping on out here as well. Some easy scouting, waiting to see what type of hero will be coming out from that Altar of Storms. Farseer already on the move, has a grunt, but should be transitioning into headhunters here momentarily, as they're trying to clear out perhaps that expansion location on both sides to get that extra bit of additional gold. Archmage coming back across here, get a, well, actually militia clear out to the Rock Golem Creep Camp, while the Night Elf with a Dark Ranger attempting to clear out the Razer.Moon, this location here. Wow, this is actually a bit scary. The Ancient of War taking a lot more damage than originally expected. May need some Wisp to be brought over to try and repair, as I'm not quite sure what caused the aggro to happen, but Razer.Moon's Ancient of War is already down to half hit points after all this time. Archmage of CaSpeND going to clear out this creep camp here, pick up a Pure Up of Vitality, and also get to level 2. That Brilliant Aura going to be incredibly important. Meanwhile, Farseer already diving on into this position here, trying to take down those Spirit Wolves, does exactly that. Dark Ranger first, getting in some Black Arrow damage onto that Farseer. Coming back around, Archmage heading back off to the north here. Forest Troll, Shadow Priest, Archmage continuing to try and gain some experience. Meanwhile, an expansion may be inbound for ReaVeR, as he has cleared out that gold mine creep camp relatively early. Archer's getting healed up as well. Tome of Intelligence dropped. Archmage needs a bit of additional damage, finishing off this Forest Troll creep camp. Yo, hey Burrow Rush, how you doing? Back down to the south here, where we can see that d4rK. Yeah, we are seeing a d4rK down here, making sure that no expansion has been cleared out as of yet. Meanwhile, the army from the north just seems that much stronger. d4rK and ReaVeR already have their expansion. Training up their expansion already, and has a decent-sized army making their way out across the battlefield. They are going to get into a potential creepjack situation. Archmage is here, a bunch of militia is here. Archmage wants to get up to level 3. Is going to be able to do exactly that. Who's going to get the experience? That is the ultimate question, and the experience given to ReaVeR right there, as the Archmage does have a little bit of a benefit since they have that vampiric aura. Unit's going to try and retreat back, but ReaVeR going to clear up the remainder of this level 4, of these 2 level 4 Forest Troll Berserkers, and that could give level 3 to ReaVeR, and then he will be taking the experience lead advantage. Down here, down to the south, while Archmage still looking for that extra bit of experience to get to level 3. Meanwhile, Archmage of ReaVeR gets to level 3 as well. army units actually working together right here. Meanwhile, the Farseer is playing more of an harassment game. His hero is still sitting at level 1, and he's not really even fighting with any real units. Farseer, however, going to quickly find out that the archers and the Dark Ranger are all very much nearby, ready to put in a lot of pressure, shooing away that Farseer here. Back off to the north, Archmage looking to try and fight here as well. We are going to definitely fight in and figure out more attacks as the militia getting called back here. All right. This is turned into a 2-prong attack, and finally, ReaVeR has to face the brunt of both Razer and CaSpeND as the armies are coming together to put in a little bit of additional damage. All right, you're going to see the death of a footman there. Yes, one footman down. A skeletal minion is going to pop on up, perhaps try and get a little bit of additional damage as the Archmage and Dark Ranger decide to pivot and clear out some creep camps. Economic advantage for ReaVeR definitely in play. One footman of CaSpeND is trying to take down some of these peasants as CaSpeND and Razer realize that they need to, well, make sure to do something to not give that such an easy economic advantage to their opponent. Meanwhile, the Hunter's Hall is already down to 150 hit points. It is trying to stay repaired, absorbing quite a bit of damage. We are at Tree of Ages, and an Ancient of Lore is already getting trained up here. More repairs could be underway. What is Razer really doing here as a level 1 Farseer is still heavy on the harassment throughout all this time? Meanwhile, Panda and a Dark Ranger now pushing across into the center, as well as we are looking at a second Panda coming in from CaSpeND. All right, so dual pandas here could really blow over this massive tier 1 army as both sides are sitting to fight their way through. All right, a little potential creep jack, and that is going to be huge. Buttes of Quoth the Lost now being dropped over by CaSpeND as well, as the Panda could get into position and perhaps get in a good breath of fire across multiple units. All right, trying to add in a little bit more damage here, finishing off the remainder of this creep camp. That will get cleared out rather nicely. And the Archmage really wants to get to level 4 for that level 2 Brilliant Aura for both level 1 Pandas and that Dark Ranger. The expansion is not long for this world. A lot of pressure going to be coming across here. Archers are already in position. Footmen do have Defend, but with Defend at this point in stage in the game, with 2 Pandas out here onto the battlefield, it is just going to make them giant sitting ducks for those breaths of fire, even though it does protect them against those archers. Archers trying to constantly move around in their positioning as well, as it is a 2v1 fight here, as we still finally see the Tauren Chieftain now show up onto the battlefield with Shockwave. All right, Tauren Chieftain, Shockwave, big breath of fire trying to push back the other way. Dark Ranger comes in with the silence to try and stop a bit of that damage, as the militia now being called back over as well. Archmage does bring in Vampiric Aura, which does help out tremendously, as Shockwaves are pushing on through so much AoE damage, going back and forth, easy to lose control and sight of what is happening as the Archmage gets up to level 4. All right, battling happening all over the place as that footman of CaSpeND now looking to retreat all the way back home. There goes another as the Panda gets up to level 2. Arcane Tower causing quite a bit of problems here. Archmage now trying to retreat back. Water Elemental of CaSpeND pushing ReaVeR all the way to the far back as well, as damage from that Arcane Tower going to cause a little bit of, well, feedback damage. Coming back down to the south here, Orange's army no longer seems to be nearly as in sync, trying to go after heroes and in multiple directions, separating this into 2 separate 1v1 fights, as the Mountain King of ReaVeR now going to show up to the party, and well, this expansion not going to get taken down as ReaVeR forcing that Scroll of Town Portal, or ReaVeR forcing to leave with the Scroll of Town Portal. Archmage now continuing the fight here. Arcane Tower still causing quite a bit of problems, and now we may see an Archmage be forced to retreat as well. There goes a Shockwave. Archmage could be in trouble, down to 140 hit points, 126. Scroll of Town Portal at the last minute as the Tauren Chieftain looking to perhaps finish off more footmen, and does exactly that. Expansion of ReaVeR does not fall. Stormbolt onto Razer.Moon's Brewmaster. Dark Ranger could use a Scroll of Town Portal. Why are they still sticking around in this fight? No real reason. This is a 2v1 fight here, and Razer.Moon overstays his welcome, ends up giving up a bit more experience instead of leaving when he had an earlier opportunity to do so without suffering too much damage. All right. Vampiric Aura, a little bit of easy healing. Brewmaster with the Pure Up of Vitality now looking to get to level 3. Priest also getting trained up from CaSpeND's side, as the Archmage also needs to get healed up as well. Panda should be able to easily finish off this creep camp here. A lot of force, a lot of healing, perhaps. There you go. Finally getting up to level 3, picking up a potion of invulnerability. And now the expansion should be, well, getting constructed, removing that economic advantage, or equalizing the economic advantage. Panda of Razer.Moon now sitting at level 2, getting closer to level 3 as well. And if we do see dual level 3 pandas out here onto the battlefield, you better believe the breath of fire damage is going to rack up extremely quickly. CaSpeND opting to go for Drunken Brawler as that second ability, even though Drunken Haze could have been applied by one panda, while the breath of fire could be applied by the other. Archmage looking to clean things up here, and we see a crystal ball being used to try and reveal locations. Difficult to scout out on the minimap, as they're ready to move towards, or CaSpeND and Razer.Moon ready to move against the Orc player. Archmage on the move here. Priest ready to go. Force Troll, Shadow Priest, Brewmaster all moving out. They're going to be coming across the armies, and there are Spellbreakers in ReaVeR's army here, making that Breath of Fire significantly weaker. We are at Tier 2, dual Arcane Sanctums, perhaps going to get some weapon upgrades as well. Meanwhile, Razer.Moon, Dark Ranger now making their way down to the south side here, looking to see if there's any additional creep camps that they can clear to perhaps get in a bit of experience. Armies are now repositioning back here, but Razer.Moon going to easily take down this expansion creep camp, get a little bit of additional gold and an additional bit of experience on his heroes. All right. Couple of footmen trying to cause a bit of harassment inside the expansion location, but they are just going to get ensnared down and give experience back to, well, this purple team here. Dark now with a level 3 Tauren Chieftain and a level 2 Farseer. Off on the north side here, CaSpeND finding the CaSpeND's expansion finally being found by ReaVeR here. Mountain King, our Arcane Tower trying to feed back damage here, and now the Spellbreaker is going to have an easy time finishing things up here in the middle. Meanwhile, more footmen are just getting offered up as sacrifices, trying to take down that expansion location here, as the panda wants to get in position, perhaps land in a couple of Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire does go down, but doesn't really take down that much hit points. As you can see, the Spellbreakers were all in position there. Brewmaster can turn back around, can perhaps land another Breath of Fire here in just a moment. Could be turning it into a 2v1 fight, as it is the expansion now in quite a bit of trouble, as the purple team now coming here. All right, Razer.Moon going to be well, Razer.Moon not going to Town Portal to try and save. Now, perhaps trying to land a decent number of Breaths of Fire early on to rack up the damage. All right, there you go. There's the Breath of Fire to try and save the positioning here. And, well, and they are going to be coming in from behind. Druids of the Claw are in that back position. They are not in the Druid, or they are still in the Druid form for now. Going to give a little bit of damage with that Roar, but need to go into Bear form. Now finally online, ready to go, as they're going to be engaging. Tauren Chieftain now in that frontline spot, and this is a massive 2v2 battle right here on the center side. Silence onto the Tauren Chieftain, but he already got a shockwave down. Breath of Fire, Squirrel of Town Portal now being forced by the Farseer. Archmage now going to try and perhaps shut down as much of the expansion as possible, as he's going to be by himself since his partner in crime has already been taken down. Panda going to continue to engage. Archmage perhaps going to try to finish off all of those priests. There goes another Breath of Fire, as more units getting cleaned up. All right, CaSpeND sitting at 34 supply, 49 supply, going up against 57 supply and 53. Purple team with a slight advantage still after all this time, as we're now clearing out the Granite Golem creep camps. All right, Razer.Moon and CaSpeND's strategy to go for dual pandas to try and put pressure on the expansion, if the expansion actually fell, would have been successful. Now that there are so many Spellbreakers out there on the battlefield, the units are not clumping up in an efficient manner for Breath of Fire to really blow things over. Archmage at 4. We can see Brilliance Aura, the Kagar's Pipe of Insights, dropped for the Brewmaster. A bit of bonus damage plus, 20 damage between, between that Roar and that Gauntlets of Ogre Strength plus 3 and that Medallion of Courage. Both sides coming through. Archmage looking to make its way back off to the north here. Tauren Chieftain, Farseer ready to make a move here. As we can see a Spirit Wolf, well, scouting out this expansion down to the south. Meanwhile, massive battle off to the north here. Chain Wave, well, there's that Chain Lightning and that Shockwave ripping through. Now Bear's going to go in and try to bring in a couple of roars. Brewmaster could be in trouble, already down to 400 hit points. He is in between that no man's land, taking quite a bit of damage, using a potion of healing and getting in a rejuvenation as well to try and stay alive. No Staff of Sanctuaries available or Staff of Preservations. There's one Staff of Preservation right there from the Dark Ranger, as the army is now pushing on through. Panda once again getting storm bolted and then getting all of its mana eaten up by those spell breakers still, as the Tauren Chieftain is now going to get into focus down here. All right, down to 300 hit points. There's that silence. Tauren Chieftain, it was stuck in no man's land. It gets taken down as there are some level ups across the board. Spellbreaker is going to try to push back the other way. Paladin finally shows up onto the party, but a little bit late. I'm sure 200 hit point heal would have been greatly appreciated right there. Scroll of Healing used, counteracting there, as another bear going to get taken down. Purple Army, even after losing beautiful Staff of Preservation, saving a gung-ho Panda there, as the Paladin now leading the charge. Purple Army with a much larger supply pushing through, even though the Tauren Chieftain was overexposed and taken out there. Army sizes 73 supply and 50. A very large army coming in from the purple human player here, especially with all three heroes. So level 4 Archmage, level 3 Mountain King, and level 1 Paladin. At this point, Archmage of CaSpeND trying to defend, but knowing that at this point defending would just cause more units to be lost. Coming back down to the south side here, Spellbreakers, Headhunters, Kodo Beast, Priest, all getting into position here, as the Arcane Vault may end up getting pushed down. I believe Purple is thinking about how to continue with their advantage and then win out this way. Meanwhile, Spellbreakers all in that frontline spot. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, but not really dealing much damage. Really needed to get to that back line, or perhaps over by the Berserkers. Mortar teams are now pushing through as well, as they're able to fight in from the very far back line here. All right, more damage racking up on through. There's a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, perhaps going to finish off a Paladin. Yes, Paladin falls at level 1. Shadowhunter now trying to retreat back, and the lines have completely disappeared, as the Purple Army now feels like they are a bit surrounded and a bit confused. They do have superior numbers still, but the Archmage is now taken down at level 4, and now perhaps another Archmage going to get taken down. So Archmage after Archmage versus MK. So many heroes getting lost to level 4 Archmage, level 5 Archmage, and a level 4 Mountain King, as the units are now looking to retreat back and perhaps buy some time. Purple Army continuing with all of this pressure. The mortar teams here have enough siege damage to really clean up these buildings and cause a bit of a problem. There's a Breath of Fire here as well, as the mortar teams quickly know if they can take down all of the buildings, they can perhaps supply block their opponent, but they don't realize that CaSpeND has plenty of supply to try and train up those heroes back at home. All right, Silence, Panda getting taken down there. The Dark Ranger getting taken down there. I thought that was a Dark Ranger. No, Farseer getting taken down there. All right. Still so much happening in this fight here. So much hero damage. Shockwave ripping on through. Dark getting up to level 4 on that Tauren Chieftain. And level 4 Shadowhunter continuing all of this pressure here, as CaSpeND tries to hold on to this expansion. Razer.Moon holding on with both the Panda and the Dark Ranger on the inside. There's a big Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across all of those Headhunters in the back. They are taking a little bit of damage over time, as we're looking at both sides looking to fight and engage. Militia quickly called and then countered back once more. All right. Ancient Protector here to, stop this Great Hall from being able to mine too much. Alone a Bear looking to finish off. Gets hexed immediately. And this Berserker looks like it will live and fight. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? We are, as the Panda now looking to dive on in once more. Kodo Beast is has a bear in the belly. There's a Breath of Fire trying to save that bear, as the Kodo Beast, or as this bear, going to try and pincer this one last unit. Bear gets, Reversal of Fortune out of that Kodo Beast, and now back out here onto the battlefield. Down to the south here, we're looking at 55 supply. going up against 37 and 72. Human player of CaSpeND down to 27 as well. That is extremely low, as the Watchtower now going to get added in to add a little bit of defense here for, well, the purple team's second expansion. Main bases, well, has about 3.5 minutes of mining left. Gonna only have one operational base for the orange team here in just a moment, and gonna be a difficult uphill battle for the orange team to overcome the army, as we are seeing a transition into Wind Riders now, and we could also be looking at those Envenom Spears. Wind Riders with Envenom Spears deal significant damage, as each Wind Rider can stack that Envenom Spear charge. CaSpeND getting caught out in the middle of no man's land here, forced to use a Scroll of Town Portal as another priest gets taken down as well. All right, this expansion going to easily be cleaned up. This is a large army of Druids of the Claw. The downside, however, is, well, the training of these Wind Riders, which should catch their opponent off guard. Wind Riders are a bit of a glass cannon, though, and if they are teched or if they scouted and countered for, those 4 supply Wind Riders end up feeding experience to the other side pretty rapidly. Level 5 Brewmaster, level 5 Dark Ranger. Brewmaster holding on to that Pipe of Insight to give mana to his Night Elf army, even though there is an Archmage, well, still out here onto the battlefield. Level 5 Archmage, level 5 Panda, going to go ahead and engage in the middle of the battlefield here. That is a lot of, well, prime targets to try and finish off with a Breath of Fire. Drunken Haze Breath of Fire could have at least racked up some damage before they left. Only the Breath of Fire there, no Drunken Haze as well. He only has Drunken Brawler. Lone Footman off to the north here. No defend, trying to, well, take down peasants as they're working. Meanwhile, Panda going to get into position here. There's a Breath of Fire trying to blow over all of these dire wolves. And here we are. The bear is going to go straight after the fortress. Wind Riders, where are they? Scroll of Town Portal now going to go ahead and retreat back. And now the Wind Riders are going to find perhaps an easy time going after some of these units. Silence onto the Farseer. Tauren Chieftain continuing the fight here. Scroll of Town Portal trying to push back the other way. Wind Riders could easily end up getting cleaned up. There is a Scroll of Town Portal coming back the other side. So much Scroll of Town Portaling, as the Farseer now going to teleport off to the other side to try and be saved, as the fortress is held onto. Holy Light on that Wind Rider, or excuse me, on that Farseer keeps him alive. Wind Riders, as I mentioned before, all very low on hit points. They're easily taken out. Only 3 Wind Riders there. Were the Druids of the Claw, did their numbers get dwindled down much? No, still sitting at 65 supply over 70. Meanwhile, Archmage and Panda heading back off to the north, putting pressure onto the expansion here. And this may actually end up working out. Constant hit and run tactics starting to take a bit of a toll, as the Archmage and Panda looking to shut down this expansion. Well, finally, after all this time. All right, Druids of the Claw. There's a Breath of Fire finishing off a Mortar Team. Stormbolt onto a Druid of the Claw there. Staff of Preservation going to save this, as the purple team now moving together, heading down to the south. That is going to be a very large, dangerous army pushing off into the center, as we're getting Nature's Blessing on the, well, all of these Ancients for additional bit of armor. All right, Raiders getting to have a bit of a bad day. It's going to easily get finished off. Dryads trying to finish off more Raiders here. Perhaps the fortress is going to get taken down. Main bases could be in trouble, as the mortar teams with Inner Fire shelling damage out from quite a distance. And this Tree of Eternity will get taken down. No Scroll of Town Portal for the save. Coming back around here, Scroll of Town Portal. Massive peasants are trying to come back across. Breath of Fire perhaps onto all of those units in the back. Gonna blow over all of those peasants and gives level 6 to the Dark Ranger. All right, so level 6 now on the Dark Ranger, and that is going to change things up dramatically, as ReaVeR is going to finish off the rest of Razer.Moon's base. All right, Dark Ranger perhaps going to try to steal some Spellbreakers or some other units here. Paladin gets taken down. Level 6 now on the Brewmaster, and suddenly things have flipped around just a bit. Are we going to see some charmed units? No, we do not. All right, a charmed mortar team. There we are. A charmed mortar team, and now dual level 6 heroes coming in from Razer.Moon is going to really upset the flow. CaSpeND and Razer.Moon have been behind throughout this matchup. Now with superior hero levels and the only operational mining base, they may come out ahead. Off to the north here, both sides trying to mine from the same gold mine. However, an orange peasant had jumped on in first, making it so that these peasants couldn't get on in just quite yet. All right, Archmage, Tauren Chieftain, Farseer now trying to push it across here. Spellbreaker's going to clean things up. Chain Lightning, all of those peasants just want to go back. Dark Ranger seeing that level 6, more damage coming back across here. Going to go ahead and walk on through Army, level 6 Dark Ranger, level 6 Panda, level 5 Brewmaster, level 5 Archmage, getting ready to move on into position. All right, Mortar teams attempting to take down the keep. Wind Riders are going to be in position trying to poke down as well, as this could turn into a massive bloody battle here after all this time. Tauren Chieftain looking to retreat back. There's a silence onto the Mountain King. Dark Ranger looking to charm another unit. There's another charmed Mortar team in the back. He's not quite sure who to attack any longer, as the Tauren Chieftain is silenced once again. Dark Ranger still walking around here. Archmage providing plenty of mana for all these priests and other heroes as the units are continuing to engage. Spellbreakers, well, plenty of damage to absorb. Bears are going after them finally, as the Mountain King looking to fall back here. Storm purposely staying in shadow melded form so that the Panda will not get fully taken out. Perhaps we can see some Cyclone as well. Perhaps get some Windwalk damage in there, as the Mountain King unsure of how to engage here. So many battles. The Shadow Hunter now getting picked up here. Mountain King trying to retreat back, as the Bears are trying to go to town onto all of the Spellbreakers and seemingly doing a good job. CaSpeND gets up to level 6, now has Mass Teleport in addition to those level 2 Water Elementals, as the Wind Riders are now going to be poking on through. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5. Tauren Chieftain trying to go after some additional units, finds the priest, takes it down, but could end up getting taken down himself. He gets taken down, and another level 6 hero for the orange team. There's a Cyclone coming in from Storms. And now that Shadow Hunter going to get cleaned up as well. No, Scroll of Town Portal used in time. All right, a Druid of the Claw. Is it going to get Staff of Preservation? Yes, teleported back home. Should be able to easily heal back up once more. But what a turn of events, as there is only one mining base, and the Razer.Moon and the orange team currently have it. 17 supply going up against 13 supply, 32 supply. What is the Night Elf at? 51, with superior hero levels indeed. All right, Breath of Fire still pushing on through. More units getting taken out. Dark Ranger could easily charm in some more units. Recently charmed up a Spellbreaker as well, as they're looking to engage. All right, Archmage is currently under the influence of the Staff of Sanctuary. Militia now being called over. Panda could try and Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, take down some of those units. Paladin now here onto the battlefield. Holy Light Paladin heals the Archmage to try to wake him up, but the Mountain King gets lost in the fray, as the level 7 Dark Ranger still cranking out quite a bit of damage. Staff of Preservation for the save there. Healing Wave trying to save. No Holy Light, no additional heals. Farseer now back out here onto the battlefield, as the level 7 Panda is in position. All right, a Druid of the Claw with Rejuvenation was trying to stay alive for quite some time. Should have backed off, perhaps stayed back, but now there is the GG. All the heroes have fallen, and Razer.Moon and CaSpeND outlasting their opponent and being able to come back over the top and take the resource advantage away from their opponents and come away with higher hero levels. Perhaps those Wind Riders at 4 supply gave a bit too much experience to the Dark Ranger and that Panda, giving them level 6. Once the Dark Ranger had access to Charm, Charm was easily taking and converting those mortar teams over to the other side, and then really removing the threat of the base race out from the equation. Once that started happening, we all felt the sudden momentum shift, and Razer.Moon and CaSpeND able to take those hero levels to victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.